Hey, this is Michael from Simplified Chinese, and it's the next installment on the Behind the Dishes series. Today we're going to feature green beans. So if you're a gardener, we love the contender bush bean. If you're not a gardener, that means absolutely nothing to you, but they grow really well where we live, so that's usually what we have to cook with in the summer. So it's green bean season, so I wanted to show you how to make this into one of our favorite dishes, Ganbien Si Ji Dou, which basically stands for spicy fried green beans, give or take. So the first step in preparing the green beans is we're going to snap the ends off. Now, I suppose you wouldn't have to snap this end off, some people don't, but I grew up doing it, so that's kind of what I still do. It's just personal preference. But we're not going to cut these beans, at least for the more traditional Ganbien Si Ji Dou. Just going to leave them whole, basically. If you were using a yard-long bean, as we might show later in the season if they end up growing in a garden, you will cut them down a little bit to about 2.5 to 3 inches long. Now, later I'll show you how to cut them for another variation of the Ganbien Si Ji Dou. Alright, so again, like I said, if you're doing the traditional Ganbien Si Ji Dou, you just leave them whole. Alright? You would just stick them in the fryer like you can see on one of my other videos. But for this different variation of Ganbien Si Ji Dou, we want them to be thinner. So we're doing what kind of reminds me of French cut. You get French cut green beans from a can. It's about what we're trying to accomplish here. Just a thin strips, maybe you'd call it julienne, I don't know, technical term. Just be really careful as you're cutting. Hopefully we won't have any emergencies here on the video. As you can see, it's just kind of a thin cut, right? Don't want them to be too super long, but we don't want them to be too short either. Because what this is going to do is this is going to get coated with a breading and fried. So we want there to be some surface area, not just a bunch of tiny chunks. Okay, as much fun as it is to do all these by hand, I started thinking, is there a faster way? So got out our food processor and kind of experimented with the slicing blade and just laying them in as flat as possible to the hopper. And turns out when I start this thing, slicing them thin, as you can see here. So I think I'm going to go with that from now on. So you can kind of see the difference between the hand cut and the machine cut. Definitely a lot more consistent. There's a few smaller pieces that I'd like there to be for the machine cut, but for the speed and the consistency of the slices, it might actually be a better deal. So, one of those personal preference things, so thought I'd try it out and show you the results. Alright, so now that we got them cut, we're going to do the next part, and that is making the batter, if you will, but it's basically just a flour coating. So we're going to put maybe a 1/2 cup of flour, give or take, and then we're just going to season it. Alright? Alright, so now that we got our flour and our beans, the next essential ingredient is an egg. So we're going to crack an egg and we're going to put it in, and we're actually going to put it in with the beans, which you can see later on my video where we put this all together. Okay, so that's basically the prep. Okay, get beans, slice them up, and we got our flour for a batter and an egg, and you can check out my next video to see how this all comes together. Anyway, thanks for watching.